Hello, everybody. This is TSS Killer from PocketMonsters.net and ppgunstudio.com, and we're here today to present a very special interview with Mr. Mike Pollock.
Thank you so much.
And to my right over here is inu-liger.
Hello.
Okay, let's begin, shall we? Now, Mike, for people that are not familiar with your voice acting work, I know that people know you as the second anime narrator from Pokemon, of course, and also Dr. Eggman from Sonic X.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, can you please tell us a little bit about your background and how did you get into this industry?
Sure. I started with a love for radio for as far back as I can remember. Mm-hmm. And I listened to the DJs doing their DJ thing. Hey, good morning, 720! And I said, I could do that. And once I actually got into radio and I realized there's so much more to it than disc jockeying, I actually wanted to do more of the commercial stuff, because in commercials you could act, you could do characters and stuff. And I said, I could do that. Mm-hmm. So I eventually got into radio through college and part-timing at a radio station in Syracuse, and said, well, that DJ thing is great, but I want to do production and make commercials. Mm-hmm. And I did that in Syracuse and Rochester for a while, then came back down to New York and eased out of radio and into full-time voiceover. So I did a lot of cartoons, commercials, video games, stuff like that.
Certainly.
And what made you choose to pursue voice acting as a career? Was there perhaps another voice actor, past or present, that inspired you to get into voice acting on top of that?
Watching every cartoon as a child probably influenced me to some degree or another. But obviously the legends of me being the child of the 70s, and the legends of the 70s and earlier, the Mel Blancs of the world, the Rocky and Bullwinkle cast, brilliant people. I got a chance to actually speak to all of them ever so briefly when I was in high school, which was a very cool moment. Any cartoon that I ever saw as a child and said, I could do that, possibly even better. So, and then when I got the chance to do it, I said, yeah, this is good.
Mm-hmm. Inspiring words indeed.
It's also excellent for the short attention span in us all. I'm in the room for an hour or two, and on to the next thing.
Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people will vouch for the lack of attention span in the last few years, sadly. But
I'm sorry, what were you saying? I'm kidding. Thank you.
Yeah, we kid over here. Like I said, we have tons of fun on PM.net. Okay, all right. So, as many people know, Roger Parsons was the first narrator for the Pokemon series. Now, Mike, as far as we're concerned, now, Mike, how did you come to work for 4Kids and for the dub especially, and did you take into any consideration or take any sort of inspiration from Roger Parsons as fitting into the role of narrator? Is using inspiration?
My entry into 4Kids was actually in an earlier episode of Pokemon. I was in Carrying On, playing the grandfather of Maliki, the Pidgey messenger service trainer. So that was a quick little half hour of my life. I was like, oh, this is cool. Mm-hmm. Not the most exciting character. Hello, I'm just a kindly old grandfather. And that eventually got me into when 4Kids started doing the whole Foxbox 4Kids TV thing.
Ah, yes.
I said, hey, this guy was good. Bring him in for more stuff. So when the narrator position opened, it was actually a bit of a surprise. I was brought on for Jirachi Wishmaker as just being the narrator in that. And then they said, well, here, do these other things as well, because we're between narrators at the moment. So the only real direction I got as far as being a narrator was we wanted to be a grandfatherly type of voice, which I don't think it really ended up being so grandfatherly. If my grandfather sounded like this, I'd be a little freaked out. But that's what they wanted, that's what they liked, and that's what they got. Well, and I prefer to, since Roger came back to the role, I prefer to consider that he bookended my career as the narrator.
Well, you certainly did a great job in your 3-year tenure. I can definitely say that, and it's just wonderful, hearing your voice now as well as back in the series. You really set a tone for the AG series, or now, as known as.
Before I get into the next question, did they ever mention why you were replacing Mr. Parsons?
Don't ask, don't tell. I was glad to have a gig.
Did you take a lot of enjoyment in working on the Pokemon dub? And did you ever have any regrets or nitpicks about your own work on the show?
I had a great deal of fun doing it. I love doing all the voice acting stuff just because, it's, like I say, it's quick in, quick out, have fun, be lots of people, go on to something else. The biggest challenge is not really knowing what I'm talking about, because I go in and I see the entire script is there, but I'm really only focusing on the couple of paragraphs at the beginning that I'm reading, the couple of paragraphs at the end that I'm reading, and I didn't really know what I was talking about, but as long as the director did and could make me sound like I did, that's, that was it. And the trickiest part is having too much fun and just giggling my way through the dialogue. And like, oh, again, sorry, take 18, sorry.
Well, we thrive for improv in this business, as you well know, Mike. So we really know what we're talking about, especially here where we just ad-lib stuff, especially on the website.
Yeah.
Okay, now Mike, before we continue, I like to say that Rachel Lillis and Eric Stewart say best regards to you and say hello.
Hi.
Hello there. That was very fluid. All right.
There we go.
Now, Mike, have you had a chance to take a look at the Best Wishes series that's going on in Japan right now?
No, I don't. Raising two kids with a crazy wife who's also busy raising two kids. Not much time for watching stuff, except the only Japanese stuff we're watching at home now is the Power Ranger stuff that my son is watching. So.
Oh yeah, Super Sentai.
Yeah, he's taken up all the Japanese viewing in the house watching that.
And to my own admission, the Super Sentai series is just much better than Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was in the States, and it's actually geared to more of a broad audience. In my own ambition, my brother still watches that, so very good.
I'm sure he would agree.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. And having dubbed for various anime shows, have you ever had the opportunity to watch any of the original Japanese content first before going to do your dub voiceovers in order to form a basis for your character's voice, or do you and the director sit down to just form a new voice from scratch?
It depends on the studio. 4Kids usually discourages listening to the Japanese unless there's one particularly tricky part of a dub and they want to see exactly where the voice is supposed to be in the shot, so then they'll listen to the dub. But other studios will offer to play the Japanese first, just to not only get a voice at the start of the session and just say, we're kind of trying to match that.
But to get the emotion conveyed in the scenes as well.
Yeah. Also, from a technical standpoint, before recording each line, it's got to be this long and it's broken up like this.
Now, we have it well documented on pocketmonsters.net that 4Kids definitely changed a heck of a lot of lines, especially in the early Kanto and also in the Johto series. Now, anybody that reads any Pokemon websites, especially ours, they know that a lot of paint edits occur because, especially in the older episodes, you had Japanese written on the side. And that's why they changed to kind of a pseudo letters. Actually, I've seen a few Japanese anime series from TV Tokyo that do the same thing nowadays.
Or we get the short skirts turn into regular.
Right,
skirts.
right, and the best one I think was when they turned the onigiri, the rice bowl, into a sandwich. I think that was major, a real major turning point in the paint edits. Thankfully, they don't do it as much nowadays. To my own ambition, at least they keep it more true to the Japanese series, but. Let's just say the voice acting is lacking nowadays.
And the script writing doesn't help.
Yeah. Just 4 words here. I am not a noob. That's the direction where the dub is going nowadays.
The more recent stuff at 4Kids, they've actually left more foreign stuff in. Go Riki, which was an excellent series that, if I do say so myself, where I played Big Oriki, the big burly blue crow, I guess he was. It's a Russian show. They left in all the Russian letters because they figured no one can read that. Yeah. But the Russian people can.
Now, Mike, do you ever, in any of these roles, have you ever taken the time and actually sit down and watch what you do? And also, let's say, would you only watch the episodes of Pokemon that you worked on, or would you watch, the early stuff or the later stuff after you've left?
Well, with Pokemon, not only would I only watch the episodes I was in, I would only watch the parts of the episode I was in.
Like 2 minutes.
Then he opens and bloop, 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 and he closes. Great. Make sure my name is spelled right in the credits. With some of them, some of the plots of some of the shows, not necessarily Pokemon, but other shows, the plots are just so involved that I can't make any sense of them, either when I'm recording them or when I'm watching them back. But some of the ones that actually had a more linear plot and I said, oh, he's a good guy, he's a bad guy, and this is happening, I'll watch them. And especially when my kids were of the age and of the attention span where they would be willing to watch them too. It would be fun to wake up early on Saturday morning and, look, it's this show.
Yes, and just to quickly add on that, for one thing, I know that the Pokemon anime has definitely taken a turn where they're catering for 5-year-old kids now, and pretty much abandoning the rest of us. I mean, most of the people that go on the website are over the age of 20.
Yeah.
And and ironically, when the series started, I was 10 years old. So you know, being a hyper kid and being inspired by Pokemon and everything, and having the Pokemon card battles in the lunchroom or the schoolyard before they ban that.
Oh yes.
So it conjures up great memories and proves my love to the series.
But it's like PUSA, being Pokemon USA for short. They took the Western notion cartoons for kids, like the stereotype, and really kicked up a horrible notch.
Yes, indeed, especially in the last couple of seasons. They're really catering to the 5 to 10 demographic, which thinks that they are more profitable, definitely. And also, not to mention that most of the television stations are actually getting fined for showing Pokemon advertisements during the Pokemon itself when it ran on syndication.
Under anti-infomercial regulations.
Yeah, I remember. Just one more thing here. A local station here, WPIX. I've known that a few times they were fined, even 5 years after the fact.
Yeah, because what happened was, I believe they had to file some papers and stuff, and by regulatory laws, they had to actually report that information.
Right.
So they shot themselves in the foot.
Indeed, so.
Okay, and to build upon the last question further, in the case of Dr. Eggman in the recent Sonic games, did you ever have a chance to try out or play the games that you'd actually voiced?
The closest I got to playing the games, I got close to playing the games twice. I bought a game as a gift for a couple of nephews of mine, and they happened to play it while I was in the house. Oh, great, that's fun to watch. But the coolest moment was when the Olympic Games first came out, and there was a kiosk at the mall where they were demoing the Olympic Games, and I said, really? I'm in that. Play it for me. So I had the guy demoing the games and played Eggman in tennis or something. I said, oh, cool. I was that. Thanks, bye. That was enough.
Okay.
Alrighty. Now, since you were of course the narrator for the Pokemon series by 4Kids, and also you were Mr. Contest-san in the PUSA dub. Have you noticed changes in the way that the production is being brought forth in comparison from 4Kids to PUSA?
Yeah.
There's a little more respect, might be a strong word, but respect for the Japanese. They will play you the Japanese these days, whereas 4Kids would tend not to.
Right.
And I'm not in enough episodes these days. If you're watching, you know who you are. You can hire me to have made more comparisons. But yeah, I'm going to say there's a little more Japanese respect happening, and a little more Japanese openness, whatever that word might be.
And just a quick soundbite: ski this and that. Had to say that in English a lot of times, I bet.